Consistency is the last refuge of the unimaginative. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. There is only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious. A man can be happy with any woman, as long as he does not love her. If you are not too long, I will wait here for you all my life. Between men and women there is no friendship possible. There is passion, enmity, worship, love, but no friendship. Work is the curse of the drinking classes. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Ambition is the last refuge of the failure. Men always want to be a woman's first love, women like to be a man's last romance. A man's face is his autobiography. A woman's face is her work of fiction. Life imitates art far more than art imitates life. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation. I have the simplest tastes. I am always satisfied with the best. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his. To expect the unexpected shows a thoroughly modern intellect. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. America is the only country that went from barbarism to decadence without civilization in between. No man is rich enough to buy back his past. The old believe everything, the middle-aged suspect everything, the young know everything. Moderation is a fatal thing. Nothing succeeds like excess. One of the many lessons that one learns in prison is that things are what they are and will be what they will be. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. A little sincerity is a dangerous thing, and a great deal of it is absolutely fatal. One's real life is so often the life that one does not lead. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. There are only two tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. True friends stab you in the front. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. I can resist everything except temptation. Success is a science. If you have the conditions, you get the result. When the gods wish to punish us, they answer our prayers. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. To lose one parent may be regarded as a misfortune. to lose both looks like carelessness. What is a cynic? A man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. Keep love in your heart. A life without it is like a sunless garden when the flowers are dead. Morality is simply the attitude we adopt towards people whom we personally dislike. Conversation about the weather is the last refuge of the unimaginative. I always pass on good advice. It is the only thing to do with it. It is never of any use to oneself. It is better to be beautiful than to be good, but it is better to be good than to be ugly. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. I can resist everything but temptation. Life is never fair, and perhaps it is a good thing for most of us that it is not. A gentleman is one who never hurts anyone's feelings unintentionally. Bigamy is having one wife too many. Monogamy is the same. One should always be in love. That is the reason one should never marry. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Women are made to be loved, not understood. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their intellects. A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. Who, being loved, is poor. He has no enemies, but is intensely disliked by his friends. Sometimes the poor are praised for being thrifty, but to recommend thrift to the poor is both grotesque and insulting. It is like advising a man who is starving to eat less. I put all my genius into my life, I put only my talent into my works. Beauty is the only thing that time cannot harm. Philosophies fall away like sand, creeds follow one another, but what is beautiful is a joy for all seasons, a possession for all eternity. Life is far too important a thing ever to talk seriously about. Society exists only as a mental concept. In the real world there are only individuals. How can a woman be expected to be happy with a man who insists on treating her as if she were a perfectly normal human being? The world is a stage, but the play is badly cast. The true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible. Seriousness is the only refuge of the shallow. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. Everybody who is incapable of learning has taken to teaching. There is no sin except stupidity. The books that the world calls immoral are books that show the world its own shame. I sometimes think that God in creating man somewhat overestimated his ability. Questions are never indiscreet, answers sometimes are. Alas, I am dying beyond my means. One should always play fairly when one has the winning cards. A man who does not think for himself does not think at all. I am not young enough to know everything. An excellent man, he has no enemies, and none of his friends like him.